Alright everybody, this is KJ and I am here with our TBA Week 9 Team Builder analysis. Um, I'm going to just kind of talk over the standings really quick because we are in playoff contention, but we're currently on the outside looking in. After our last win in Week 8, we are sitting at 3-5 with a -3 differential. As you can see, that is still potentially good enough to get into the playoffs. We need a little bit of help from one of the two teams that are 4-3, either the St. Kilda Kelly or the Dallas Zipstreakers. They currently are slated to play each other in Week 8. They haven't been able to play yet, so we don't know what the results of that will be, but depending on that, we'll need to hope that the loser of that team, or the loser of that game rather, loses to whatever team they're playing in Week 9 by a substantial enough margin that if we win our game, then can jump above them into the playoff spot. So, yeah, that's just a little bit of background there. We are playing the Green Bay Yampers and their coach, BigTimeBrownie. Let me jump over to his team really quick. So, as you can see, he's got Necrozma, Lando I, Gigalith, Vikavolt, Quillfish, Regice, Mega Garchomp, Grimmsnarl, Lucario, Entei, and Toucannon. He's really enjoyed bringing Toucannon. I think he's brought it the last 3 or 4 weeks. No. Okay, wait. 3 of the last 4 weeks. That's what it was. So yeah, he's brought Toucannon 3 of the last 4 weeks. But this team's got a ton of threats. It's a sand team. Yeah, so let's just get to the team I'm bringing. So we'll just kind of start with Kartana. Banded Kartana this week. I know Kartana did put in a good amount of work last week, and the week before it was not something that we didn't end up bringing it the week before. But every week that we brought it, it's at least done some amount of work, and I'm really glad that I did pick it up in that trade for Jirachi because I've been way more comfortable using it. But we're going with Banded this week, and we're also adamant because his team's not super fast. We have plenty of ways to threaten Landorus I, which is his fastest mon. So I'm actually speed creeping the Mega Garchomp. And the idea here is we just get this in a position to click any move. Leaf Blade is hitting most mons on the team incredibly hard. If he, other than the Vikavolt, if he is max HP on any other mon, and not Entei or Toucannon also, then Choice Band Leaf Blade is OHKOing. Or I think I'm pretty sure it's OHKOing. I'd have to recheck some of the calcs, but it's crazy. Like, and then once you start getting Beast Boosts, it's just wild. So going with that. And yeah, the plan is Kartana should just be able to poke holes in the team, potentially sweep, but it breaks a lot of things on his team for sure. So the next one we got is one of our defensive pivots this week, Porygon 2. Kind of the MVP of the season. Just it's been the most consistent mon on the team, and I think up until last week it was the sole kill leader on the team. It is still a kill leader on the team. Never mind. Yeah, Kartana and Togekiss have 5 kills apiece. But yeah, so Porygon 2's been the kill leader on the squad. This week, using it again as more of like a defensive pivot. So Rock and Teleport, Ice Beam, for basically just being able to hit the ground types, and then Recover to just kind of get back some of the chip that we're going to inevitably take, and Toxic to hit things that are just kind of in our way. So things like the Regice, for example. And with this spread, we're actually we're able to take a good amount of the special attacks. One of the things that really did work against my team is the Vikavolt. If a specific collection of moves and spread could really do some damage, so making sure that we're especially bulky to cover that, but we also are physically defensive enough that we live 2 jolly earthquakes from Mega Garchomp in sand. So I thought that was a pretty key thing to make sure, especially with a lot of the team being grounded, and Sandforce just hitting incredibly hard. And also note, we are download this week to get the special attack boost on things such as Vikavolt. And again, if the plan is definitely to make sure that we can get a Toxic off on the Regice if it comes, and then just pivot out on it with Teleport. We teleport, we get something in, and then we can just start pressing buttons. Ideally, Kartana early game, or if Rain is already set up, then Kabutops, or if, yeah, you get the idea. Okay, next Mon, we have the Politoed. So Damp Rock and Drizzle. The hope is that he doesn't bring Gigalith. He hasn't brought it many times this season. He has brought Regice with Hail in the past. He's also brought Sandstorm on either Garchomp or Lando Eye in the past, so I imagine he'll have something to change the weather. Whether it's Gigalith or not, I don't know, but that's whatever. So we got Weather Ball for just being able to hit things in the weather. Ice Beam for his ground types. Again, they're a huge pain. And then Scald is just to be able to hit some of the things that are weak to water outside of Rain. So if he does come in with Gigalith, set up Sand, we click Scald, and potentially Fish or Burn, and also just get some good chip on it. And then the last move is Haze, and that is because he has a array of different setup mons that he could bring out. He's got Lucario, he's got the Garchomp, he's got Necrozma, so just to stop any kind of potential crazy sweep, especially one with like Cosmic Power, Stored Power on Necrozma, wanted to make sure I had the Haze for that, so that should be good. And we are also bold with 4 in the defense to live a Brave Bird from Adamant Life Orb to Cannon. So obviously I don't think that he would think that I would, like, obviously he's gonna think if 2 cannons in on the Politoed that I would switch out because Bullet Seed. And while that's true, if we have to stay in on a potential Brave Bird, like, not, I mean, some things on the team want to take that, but not a ton of teams want to be taking a Brave Bird from Adamant Life Orb to Cannon. That thing hits harder than people realize, so by having that, we can at least lift that, and then potentially click Ice Beam and pick up the kill. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Next, we got the Kabutops. Now, this Kabutops is a little interesting because it's not actually running the standard set where we've dropped the Sword Stance for Hone Claws, especially because we're running Stone Edge this week. Want to make sure that we have as good of a possibility to hit those Stone Edges as possible because they are doing huge damage. At +1 with Life Orb, Liquidation and Stone Edge are taking out the majority of this team, especially if we're in the rain. So the hope is that we can kind of just do a lot of damage with Kabutops. And one other thing to note is we do have Aqua Jet just in case for the Lucario. So if we're in rain and we need to outspeed the Lucario because Vacuum Wave hits hard, then can. And the speed creep for the speed creep for the Kabutops is to make sure that we outspeed Scarf, Lando Eye, and Rain. And yeah, with the special defense investment, we're also living a modest Life Orb Vacuum Wave. Of course, then we would die to our own Life Orb recoil, but Lucario and Vikavolt are the two mons that I feel like win this game for him. So, as unfortunate as it would be to trade Kabutops for Lucario, that does help open up the Kartana sweep, so I'm not super angry about that, because then the priority isn't there. And yeah, I think that would be a reasonable trade, but that's fine. So the next one we got here is Como. So we're in a Salic Berry. We have a even HP stat that is divisible by 4, so that when we click Substitute and Belly Drum, it brings us down to 25%, and that procs the Salic Berry. So then we have Drain Punch, Dragon Claw, which at +6 with this attack investment hit everything incredibly hard. I think the 84 attack investment makes it so that the Necrozma, if it's full HP, still dies to a +6 Drain Punch, so that's pretty clutch. The speed is to make sure that we're outspeeding potential speed creep on the base 80s. So originally I had enough speed to outspeed Necrozma, but because I have Togekiss and Kabutops, when I was mocking, there was some back and forth conversation, and I was like, I probably should EV Como to live, or to outspeed the potential speed creep, because I feel like a lot of people would speed creep Togekiss, especially, so they're not getting flinched. So that would mean hitting 286. So that's why we're making sure that we hit the stat of 287. Yeah, this Como, I think late game just kind of sweeps if I can get the Belly Drum off and then get the Salic Berry stuff off. I think +6 with +1 just does incredibly well. And one thing I will have to look out for is he has brought Trick Room to multiple matches, but the hope is that he sees Musharna and Porygon 2 and Mega Banette, and that deters him from bringing Trick Room. But who knows? Brownie's a good player, and he's very unpredictable. He always has heat, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited to battle him, but it's definitely stressful building for him, that's for sure. And just to get into the last mon, so we have a physically defensive Crobat. This Crobat outspeeds Lando Eye by 1 point, and honestly, it's just dumping everything into HP and defense. We are rocking the Black Sludge. We do have Infiltrator just in case of the Aurora Veil or Grimmsnarl setting up the different screens. Not that we're doing too much on the offensive side of things, but just any extra chip that we can get is good. So yeah, running Toxic, Defog to make sure that we can get rid of webs, because in mocks, webs absolutely destroyed me. And then U-turn to pivot out, and Super Fang. So pretty standard-ish defensive Crobat. I'm hoping that this can at least chip some of the things on his team fairly well, especially because his recovery is kind of non-existent. So yeah, I mean he's going to be depending on items. I don't think I see a Wish Passer. No, I don't think I do. So yeah, he's going to be depending on items, and then like things like Roost on the Vikavolt and Roost on the Toucannon if he brings it. So yeah, I think... Oh, and Moonlight on the Necrozma, that's right. But yeah, so I think this team has a fairly good shot. I did like the way it played, even though I did lose more mocks than I won. I think just gotta go for it. So yeah, that is the team. We're playing really early, so we're playing Monday afternoon or evening. I think it's Monday evening. So yeah, tune into the game and let's hope for the best. We got to get this dub and potentially make it to the playoffs. All right, I'll see you for the game. Peace. All right, everyone. We are here with the Week 9 TBA matchup versus BigTimeBrownie. And before we get into this, I do want to say to look in the description below for Brownie's Twitch as well as his YouTube. He's a very good content creator. He does not content create for TBA, however, he has a couple of... I know he has at least one console league, like console Wi-Fi league that he is doing with the Switch. So, yeah, please take a look at his channel, and I know he also streams, so take a look at his Twitch as well. All right, so let's get into this. Looking at team preview and seeing no Lucario was very nice. Very, very scared of Lucario. I thought it did so much work against this team. He does bring the 2 cannon, which we're prepared for, but don't know what kind of heat is coming there. The Necrozma, he's run fairly bulky and run Trick Room on it a lot. And just looking at his team's very slow outside of Lando, so I did kind of expect Trick Room. He does bring Sand, so that feels pretty good, and he does unfortunately bring the Vikavolt also, which, as I mentioned earlier on, is a huge problem. So yeah, I think my best lead here is to just go Porygon 2 and hope that whatever comes in, I get a download boost and just kind of go from there. So let's get into this. And so we lead Porygon 2, he leads Necrozma, and right away I'm thinking, okay, let's just Toxic this thing. We don't know what it's going to do. And he does go for Trick Room, so that's fine. I just want to get Chip at this point to get rid of the Necrozma as much as possible. And if anything switching in takes an Ice Beam, like, that's fine. So he does go into the Grimmsnarl. And so here I'm thinking, okay, if he stays in and clicks a move, then I kind of take it. So why not just get more Chip? And then now I'm just thinking, okay, if I'm slower, then I kill. If not, I take a hit. But thankfully, are slower, and Grimmsnarl's out of the way. Huge, huge threat out of the way. I don't have to worry about potential paras or anything like that. Then he goes into Vikavolt. So now I'm thinking, okay, I know I can live 2 Bug Buzz, or 2 of pretty much anything that Vikavolt can do. So let's just get more Chip on this, because now I know that he does reveal that he has Life Orb, and with that Chip, I now know that Kartana can kill this thing with a Leaf Blade. But we actually get some more Chip. I kind of expected him to hard switch there, but he Volt switches. That's fine. And we're definitely going to want to save this Porygon for later on. We can recover up on pretty much anything that we're faster than. So he goes into Lando, going to go into Politoed here, and basically eat whatever hit that he comes out with. I do realize that that was potentially free setup, which isn't ideal, but... So I thought that the best sort of like mid-ground play here was to click Scald, because if the Gigalith comes in, it still hits it. And because he previously went for Trick Room, I was thinking here, I'm just going to go for Weather Ball. And we actually get the crit. I do think that the crit mattered. Running the calc, it was in... I think if I remember correctly, it killed, but it was in his favor. Like it was a roll to kill, but it was in his favor. So I did apologize for that. And so now we just kind of have to play around the Gigalith. And I kind of misplay the Como. Well, not kind of. I misplay the Como here for sure. He goes for the Rock Blast, and that's fine. We eat that up. And I don't know what I was thinking here. I thought maybe I would be able to get a chance to set up for free, and I didn't. I should have clicked Drain Punch there, and instead I tried a Belly Drum, and he goes for an Earthquake and takes me out. So Como is down. That's unfortunate, but I still think we're in a pretty good position, as Kartana kind of can come in and press buttons, especially if the Lando is not max speed. But we get Politoed in here because it just kind of claims a kill. And it does get rid of the Vikavolt. So, again, Vikavolt was probably, outside of Lucario, I think Vikavolt was the mon I was most afraid of for the matchup. So, getting that out of the way, I'm very happy. And yeah, so now I expected a little bit of Weather Wars. Always fun. So going to Porygon here, thinking Gigalith's not going to do a whole lot of damage, and if it does, like, we can afford to sack Porygon here. But the fact that he went for Stealth Rocks actually gives us the opportunity to recover up, which I thought was going to be huge, especially dealing with the Lando in the back, potentially. And with him, I think Lando being his only remaining knockoff user, so he does go for Rock Blast, gets 3 times, and yeah, as you can see, we're just gonna kind of recover up on this thing. So luckily he wasn't carrying Toxic, because that would have been bad. But yeah, so he goes into Lando here. I go for the Toxic. I almost clicked Ice Beam. I should have clicked Ice Beam, but I actually almost clicked Recover as well. But yeah, so he goes for the Earthquake and does not kill, and we get the Oko with the Ice Beam. I was wondering if he had Superpower. I kind of risked it there, but I knew we had ways to deal with it regardless. He does get the kill with the Toucannon. I know he's a big fan of Toucannon, so I know he was definitely happy about that. But now Kartana comes in and kind of just cleans up. Click Leaf Blade, get rid of the Toucannon. The crit didn't matter. We are banded, and he was only at 14% anyway. And then with the Beast Boost and obviously the band, we 100% Oko the Gigalith, and obviously we get the crit there. But yeah, so we pick up a 4-0 win. Great game to Brownie. I am glad I didn't get to see all of his heat, because I know he definitely had it, and I know it would have been scary. He did mention in the chat that he had overheat on the Toucannon for Kartana, which, man, that would have been so scary. But yeah, so Drill Peck, overheat, Rock Blast, Bullet Seed. Yeah, that is a wild set, and that would have been very, very scary. But yeah, like I said, great game to Brownie, and we actually moved to 4-5 with a +1 differential. So after winning the first game of the season and then losing 5 straight, do close out on a 3-game winning streak, and playoffs hopes are intact. I mean, we've basically rode Rain and Kartana to a potential playoff berth. We don't know. Still got to see what happens with a couple of the games. I know Clay and Bobby have to play. They're playing on Tuesday night, and then we need the loser of that game to lose. And so if it's Bobby, we would need Bobby to just lose. If it's Clay, then we need Clay's 2 matches that he lost to be him losing by a differential of at least 8. That would put us ahead. Just gotta hope for the best. Did my part in winning out, and just gotta hope that get a little bit of luck here. Everyone keeps saying America loves a comeback story, so this would be quite the comeback story. All right, well, I do really appreciate the support. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If this is our last TBA Season 3 video, it's been a great ride. It's been a lot of fun. As you can see, I do have a new layout, and I'm really hoping to continue this whole YouTubing thing, especially for TBA Season 4, and I'll continue to be recording ISL Season 3. And maybe I'll pick up another league to record. I know, as you can see, I have like the NPAA logo down there with TBA and ISL, which is a third league that a handful of us have picked up. A handful of us in TBA/ISL have picked up. So, yeah, as always, take a look at the description. I'm going to link out all of the TBA content creators as well as, again, Brownie's channel. So, all right, well, thank you and have a good one. Peace.